also killing tens of thousands of people. It's one of those things where you can't get it off of your mind. So it's I struggle to give Joe Biden credit for anything when he is complicit in mass murder. It's kind of a hard thing for me to do. I don't know if I'm alone.
No, it's tough.
It would seem like every single part of the Democratic voter base that's important, the constituents like people of color, LGBTQ plus people,
young voters.
Young voters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, young voters. None too happy about this. In fact, some might
ones
say
that won him the election in
protest.
2020. These are the exact voting bases that he's going to make stay home because it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and not to
For
mention
what
the TikTok ban. He just signed that on Wednesday, was it?
For Netanyahu, who fucking hates him anyways, who wants Trump in regardless, and fucking knows that, and Netanyahu's playing Biden like a fiddle, just fucking old ass clown.
I love how Netanyahu has the audacity to condemn the violence on college campuses. I mean, this Hitlerian fascist is murdering people.
Did he call students like Nazis and terrorists? He said this is the same as the rise of Germany and Hitler, and then these are also Hamas. They're part of Hamas.
Was he looking in a mirror as he was saying this shit? Fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's just
how many people they fucking killed?
The gaslighting is what I think is making me feel like I'm going crazy, right? Because this is one of those times where you have Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all of the media. They're all saying the same thing. They're all smearing these student protesters. And it's just nobody's talking to the protesters. To be fair, there were a couple of MSNBC pundits who actually brought on some of the students at Columbia University and spoke to them and asked them what their goal was here. And, when you talk to them, it kind of dispels this myth that these are like rabid anti-Semites. Because Ursa, I can't remember her last name. It's Ilhan Omar's daughter. She was talking about how they were doing like interfaith prayers on her campus with Jewish students and Arab students.
Well, they're also being organized by Jewish students too, right?
Yeah, but they're all anti-Semites.
Right.
All of them.
Isra Hersey, that's her name.
Isra Hersey, thank you. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, and then yesterday the news broke that the pigs came through and they started to violently shut down the protests. And as is always the case, these protests, they're peaceful, and then the cops get there, they antagonize, and then things start to get violent. And it's oftentimes the cops who instigate the violence, if not always. So it's so frustrating because, all the same people who talk about, oh, free speech this, free speech that, they're the ones calling for this to be shut down. Like there was a tweet that Mehdi Hasan had shared of Governor Greg Abbott saying how important free speech is on college campuses. And here he is sending in state troopers to shut that shit down. And everyone's just cool. Like the media's like, well, they're anti-Semitic, so fuck them. There's just no principle. It's so frustrating. Like it makes me want to scream because it's like they're lying to us, but like they're not even trying to convince us. Like it's so Orwellian and they're not even trying. The propaganda is just bad, but they're still doing it. And they think that we're stupid.
Did y'all watch the Hasan on Piers Morgan debate?
I saw the one clip going around where he's just like, who the fuck are you? Shut the fuck up.
Well, I'm British. Yeah, that was super funny. But what's great about that clip and that moment is that, like, I think that's the frustration everyone's just collectively feeling at people both sides in genocide, or people trying to constantly be like, we need to talk about the horrifying atrocities and everything that was terrible on October 7th. And truly, no one on this panel has done that yet. At the same time, I do agree. I feel bad for people in Gaza. I won't call them Palestinians. I won't call it Palestine. I won't say, what happened prior to October 7th, but I will say I feel deeply, deeply sad and troubled by it. And then finally, Hasan had to be the person who snapped. It was just like, yeah, no. You mean, like, you can't.
It was cathartic. It was so cathartic to watch that because, like, if you, in the lead up to that moment, the guy had interrupted Hasan to just completely disregard the point that he was making. So, like, that blonde lady who was just haranguing Hasan the entire interview.
He's like a sports journalist or something.
Yeah. She was saying, you don't care about the hostages. And Hasan made the point that if you actually care about the hostages, which you should, as we all should, then you call for a ceasefire. So that way people in Gaza and Israeli hostages are safe. Like hostages were released when there was a ceasefire. And then that guy, the pink hair guy, he's like, oh, well, you're minimizing the hostages. And he just disregarded what Hasan said. So that's why Hasan snapped. Yeah, this is such a great clip.
I'm trying to
That's
imply
very
here.
patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay? I'm trying to imply.
So good. Hassan, throughout that whole interview, was just on fire because I don't know if you watched the full thing. I actually watched all 40 minutes of it.
Yeah, I did.
I have brain damage now, just FYI. But it starts off with an interview.
I have a hard time. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it starts off with a crackhead Barney interview, and then has Piers Morgan for 10 minutes is trying to talk.
If you're not familiar with her, she's a street performer from New York, and I know a lot of people who
have that is because I have no idea.
Okay, so I've actually met her in person. I used to, yeah. So I used to live in New York. I lived there for about 5 months. I lived in Flatbush, and I was filming some projects in New York. And she's basically like a street performer, very like a lot of people find her incredibly aggressive, but she's also part of Means TV. If you didn't know this, and Means TV has been like doing a show with her for a little while now. Her views, according to Means TV, are that she's like an anarchist and she's trying to bring attention to obviously oppression in all its ways through extreme shock comedy. Kind of things like that. So I know people on the left are really, really upset with her being like, I think that she's trying to, portray a negative black stereotype on TV. People on the right think that she's just trolling, but isn't actually anti Alec Baldwin. It's like kind of confusing to find out. But the best part about that whole intro is the fact that Piers Morgan tried to Piers Morgan an interview with Crackhead Barney. Right. He was trying to do that thing where he's like, I'm going to have a very serious interview and ask why you would accost rich, famous people. Because that's what I care about. He was so passionate about that. He's like, I really care about the fact that she was just being really rude to Alec Baldwin. He had a right to just buy a sandwich. Why should anyone ask him that in public?
And after Piers finally cut it off after like 10 minutes, like not taking the hint that she's not going to break character. Like, what are you doing? Hassan's response was so funny. He's like, you expected to have a serious conversation with Crackhead Barbie. Like, I don't know if he called her Crackhead Barbie. It was really funny. He's like, yeah, Hassan was just saying what everyone was thinking. Like he was cooking on that fucking show. It was so good.
Also, it brings attention to the fact that Piers Morgan and his show is trash. I mean, like I too am trash, but I'll admit that I'm trash. I'm self-aware trash, but he's not. And it was kind of like, is this truly better? Is this more constructive or better entertainment or better for the populace than what you produce, Piers? And I would argue, no, it's not. If anything, it just brings attention. It's like shining a mirror through absurdity. Kind of, I think.
Yeah,
that's my
every time. So I've covered a few Piers Morgan clips, and I make it clear, like he does what he does because he gets him clicks. And to be fair to him, it works. Like I covered a couple of his clips, but not because of him, though, but because like the guests he has on and the points they're making. But like he knows how to get eyeballs, and he does it with these debates, these interviews. And it's nothing to do with him. It's everything to do with the choice in the guest and like who he brings on. And I guess you could say maybe it has something to do with him because he never takes a side on anything. Like, or he will in one interview and then take the other side.
If you condemn Hamas, you have to condemn Hamas. That's the first step. Yeah. But do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas?
Which is just that's not journalism. You're just again. This
sound bites.
Yeah, it's sound bites. It's sound bites. So, but I mean, I don't know. Well, is there value to anything at this point? Like, aren't people? You're either at this point, hopefully, aware of what the fuck is going on, or you're not, or you are, and you don't care that thousands of people are being murdered by the state of Israel. Like, what more needs to be debated? Like, there's nothing else left to debate. So all these debates, they're just kind of, I don't know, unless someone just came out of a cave. Like, I don't know what the actual value is to the audience at this point to have these sorts of debates, but
I feel like everything's been said already that needed to be said. You know what I mean? Like the facts are laid out. Just this week, we found mass graves in Khan Yunis. Some of the people that they found had their hands tied together. I mean, there's so much evidence now that if you haven't made up your mind, then I don't know what to tell you, right?
Well, you think that, but the panel still had like perfect centrists, enlightened centrism, even.
Yeah.
Where people are like, well, multiple things can be bad at once. Can we just please condemn people blocking